Am I the asshole for asking my girlfriend to pay for the wine glass she broke? A few days ago, my girlfriend Trish, not her real name, was cleaning the kitchen windows. In the midst of her cleaning, she accidentally knocked over a dish from the drying rack, and that dish landed on and shattered an expensive wine glass of mine. I say mine because it was given to me by my mother as a Christmas gift last year. The glass retails for around $120. When she told me she had broken the glass by accident, which she was very nervous about because she knew the glass was expensive, we had a discussion, may classify this as an argument, that lasted 3 days about how it would get replaced, and who would pay. After all of this talking, she finally, she says, gave in and gave me 40% of the cost to replace the glass. I had initially asked that she replace the glass in full, but after discussion realized if we are partners, it would be logical to use the 60/40 calculation we use for everything else. Background. Trish and I have been living together for about a year. When we initially decided to move in together, we decided to split all expenses 60%, 40% because of our combined income distribution. I make 60% of our gross monthly earnings, she makes 40%. After the initial agreement, Trish has now said she does not feel good about the agreement and wants me to give the money back to her. Her reasoning is that a. It was a complete accident, and b. She would never want to buy any wine glasses that expensive ever again. My argument is that if we are to live together, we are going to be sharing costs, and inevitably things are going to break and need repairing. I liked this wine glass, again, which was a gift from my mother, and would like to replace it so that we have a matching set once more. More background. I know for a fact that Trish is financially able to reimburse me the 40%, and would suffer no undue hardship from the loss of those funds. On the other hand, I am also fully able to replace the glass without it affecting my financial stability. Am I the asshole for asking Trish to reimburse 40% of the wine glass she broke by accident? Edit. It appears that according to popular sentiment AITA, I have therefore given Trish back her money. Thank you to the commenters that gave gentle and thoughtful wisdom on what they believed might be more of the root cause of this argument. I don't think we've been in a good place for a long time. And asking her for money was never about control. I wanted to see her take personal responsibility, because that is what I would have done. FYI, Trish was with me and signed off on this post before I submitted it. She has read all of the comments. After doing so, we now understand that she does not wish to have such nice things, and is worried about being too materialistic, as well as a prisoner in her own home, having to walk on eggshells in the fear that she might break something else. She is also sad that I was not able to show compassion and let it slide. I do struggle with showing empathy and compassion sometimes. And I also agree with the people who have commented on the argument spanning 3 days. It's exhausting for both of us. Life is too short. We have little fights like this all the time, and it's wearing on both of us. It might be time to call it quits. Info. Why was a $120, presumably delicate, wine glass sitting in or next to a drying rack with regular dishes in the first place? If I had glassware that pricey, it would be washed, dried and put away after use. ETA. You are the asshole. Nickel and diming each other like this does not make for a successful relationship. This was an accident. If she had some this on purpose, I could see asking for reimbursement, but this is how you treat a roommate, not a girlfriend. Am I the asshole for not helping my sister with her IVF solely because of her husband? My 34F sister, Meg, 31F, cheated on my ex Bill, Josh, with his best friend, Liam. They did it for over 4 years until Josh found out and broke up. Liam and Meg have been officially together for 5 years. My ex Bill has been my best friend since elementary school, and my sister knew him through me, and despite my saying it would make things uncomfortable, she insisted on hitting on him until he noticed and they started dating. My relationship with Meg took a toll on me because I was annoyed with her for doing this to my best friend, but we never cut contact because of my nephew, her son with Josh, and my godson. 1 year ago, I received a large amount of money, inheritance, and because I have a good financial condition, I decided that half would go to help my parents and siblings. My parents received 50% and my siblings 12.5% each. My parents decided to renovate the house. 2 of my brothers paid off their house debts. My another sister asked if she could pay for her IVF treatment with her girlfriend with that money, and I said yes. At no time did I control how they wanted to spend their money. Well, Meg was super happy with my help and talked about paying for her IVF with Liam, his infertility, and I hesitated. I'm still best friends with Josh, and I can tell you what they did with him caused years of therapy to get him to start thinking about dating someone. I don't talk to Liam 99% of the time, and I only helped my sister, because after all she had my nephew. I didn't go to the wedding, and I always made it very clear that it wasn't a relationship I would support, but they are free. So I told her that I didn't feel comfortable giving her the money for this as it involves Liam, her and their relationship specifically, so I'd rather help in some other way, renovate house, pay off debts, refurbish the house, and that I would take double care that the money didn't go to that. She started screaming, telling me to get over something that had nothing to do with me, and that was years ago. And that I was treating her and my other sister differently because of the past. We argued a lot, and I decided to create a fund for my godson that only he could handle at age 18 instead of helping her. Well, this created even more mess, because she claims that I helped everyone but her and that I was cruel in denying helping her to have another child when they can't naturally. I really don't feel comfortable doing this. Am I the asshole? BTW, they didn't receive this inheritance. #SHE never received the money. It went to my nephew's fund before she ever received. Well, I'll put it here. They told me about the plans, I didn't ask. Just because they were excited. After I told them at a family dinner about the money. I said, you can renovate your house, pay your debts, and my other sister asked if she could use it for something else, IVF, on another day. So Meg found out talked to me, before I gave any money. Not the asshole. It's your inheritance money, you get to choose what to do with it. I think setting up a fund for your nephew is a brilliant idea. If she wants another kid so bad, she can go cheat on Liam. Edit. Thank you for the awards less than 3. Not the asshole. Okay. So you are treating your two sisters differently. So what? One of them didn't put your best friend through the ringer. The money is yours. You could have chosen to keep the money. You could have given it to Josh, an art museum, or the local animal shelter. Meg doesn't have any say in what you do with the money. If she really wants another child, she could try adoption. To be true, you were placing conditions on her that you didn't on your other siblings. However, given the history, I think it's warranted. It's your money, you don't have to give it to anybody. You don't owe her anything. The fact that you are giving it to her son is more than generous. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for refusing to put my husband's name on the title of my house? First, some important info. I, 30F, have been married to my husband, 34M, for 8 years now. We live in a culture where you never combine your finances after marriage. Some do, but they are the exception to the rule. Also, in the event of a divorce, there is nothing like common property or anything like that. You keep what you bought and anything that has your name on it. We met while we were studying, graduated the same year, have the same primary income. I do some freelance work. We are so in tune in everything except how to spend money, and he likes travel while I am a homebody. Since the first day of marriage, I proposed that we share the expenses, rent, utilities, groceries, cleaning lady, equally, even though culturally the man is responsible for all of them. Then we should have a savings account to save for a house. He didn't want to save for a house. He said that his money is better spent on experiences, and anyway there is nothing wrong with renting until we are in our 50s, then we can buy a house. In the end we agreed to have a shared account for expenses, then whatever is left is ours to do with what we want. He tends to take at least 2 weekend trips with his friends, staying in expensive hotels, going to concerts. Also, even though I cook almost every meal at home, most times he would just order out for lunch or dinner. I also go on weekend trips with my friends, but they are more day trips to the beach, hiking in the mountains, scuba diving. Each trip costs less than a tenth of what his trips do. Well, I have been saving for all of these 8 years, and now I am about to close on a small apartment, and pay it in full, no interest or monthly payments. The plan is to live there, save what I am used to saving plus what I used to spend on rent, buy a bigger house and rent this apartment for extra income. And now he wants me to add his name to the deed. I flat out told him no, he didn't want to save, he didn't put a cent towards the house, so his name does not go on the deed. I also told him that I plan to buy a bigger house, and now that he doesn't have to pay rent, he can save and put his share towards the next house, then he can have his name on the deed of the house. Well, he called me an awe, said that this is not what it meant to be married, and took some days off to go on a trip to cool off. I don't think I am an awe, but I also tend to be stubborn when it comes to what I perceive as financial irresponsibility. So am I the asshole? P.S. I am not a miser. I still paid for dates, bought him gifts just because I see something he might like, went on one expensive trip a year with him, usually abroad, etc. I just saved a lot too. Don't be stupid. You worked hard for what you have. Keep what's yours, yours. Oh, not the asshole too. Not the asshole at all, and for the love of God do not put his name on the deeds. He put absolutely zero towards it, and you're even offering him rent-free accommodation so he can save towards the bigger house, yet he calls you an AH? You guys need a proper sit-down to discuss finances, as this is not acceptable in the slightest. If he wants to blow all his money on experiences, that's fine, but he doesn't get the security of property in return. Update. Am I the asshole for wanting to stay true to my wife's wishes? I figured I might give you all an update as it's pretty much been handled now, but first I do want to say thanks to all of you who offered your responses. The majority of you were very kind about it, which I appreciated more than you know. My son and I went and brought Em flowers and just sat with her for a while. Little man ended up falling asleep while we were there, so I had a minute to clear my head and think things through. I listened to your suggestions and took a minute to consider what further action I could take, and if those actions would honor what Em would want and also be beneficial to our son. I contacted Em's mother to inform her that because our son is biologically mine, they don't maintain any legal right to see him, and I'm not interested in starting some unnecessary battle either. I also said that Em made it very clear when she was still here that she didn't want our son to know them. She had made that choice because of how they had treated her in the past, and had only been willing to change her mind about it if they had tried to grow as people. So it makes very little sense for me to allow them into his life if they have not done that. I told her goodbye and I wished her well. She responded and said that she understood why Em made such a firm decision, because she and her husband did things that they could never take back or make up for. She told me she regretted every choice she'd ever made to make her daughter feel as though she wasn't loved. She also said that Em's dad was the one who made the decision for them to not attend the funeral. He didn't want to go, for reasons she didn't specify. But it's not hard to figure out, and because she's been a housewife for pretty much her entire marriage, I'm assuming she just didn't have the resources to get a plane ticket to fly here. She left it off by telling me that the only person who could forgive her isn't here anymore to hear her say sorry. But she still wanted me to know how much she wished she had said it before, and that for the sake of honoring what Em wanted, neither she nor her husband would be trying to contact me again. I'm very thankful that there was no serious conflict or anything like that, and that Em's mom was civil about it, but I just wish that Em had been here to receive the apologies that she was owed. She had accepted that she couldn't change them, but she still wished that they would eventually see the light and repair their relationship. She deserved to know they came to regret what they'd done, or that her mom regrets it at the very least. You did good, honey. I'm sorry Em couldn't hear this apology from her mom. I'm glad you set clear boundaries on their non-involvement in your son's future. I think Em would be very proud of you. Purple Heart. Wherever Em is, she knows how they feel. I am sorry for your loss, but you have been incredible to stick by your wife's wishes and boundaries. I wish you and your son the happiest of futures. I am pretty sure Em will be watching you both with nothing but love and joy in seeing you develop your family. Good luck, and thank you for the update. Sad that mom didn't or couldn't stand up to her husband for her daughter. I hope this gives you some resolution. You're right that Em deserved to hear the apologies, and I believe she did, as I believe she's still with you. I'm happy to hear things ended civilly. It doesn't seem like the dad wanted to apologize.